Right. Hello and good evening and a happy Sunday to everyone. Thank you all for taking the time out to be here today. So why are we all here? We're here to learn, correct? Learn something new, something interesting, or something that we're passionate about. And that is the essence of Enlightened Sapiens. We are a community that encourages you to grow and learn with the things that you love so that when you're ready, you can give back with this knowledge, making it easier for someone else to do the same. So we've been holding these sessions every weekend on various topics from art and gardening and hiking and photography, fitness. And all these sessions have been free. And the reason is that we want you to pursue your interests. We don't want a barrier to your knowledge. So we want you to pursue your passions, interests, and hobbies, and further these interests and hobbies. And so that when you're ready, you can give back with this knowledge, right? And give back to the community with your knowledge. And that would be a beautiful world, wouldn't it? So today we have Master Sudhir Jadhav, who wishes to give back with his knowledge on the art of bonsai. So a little bit about Sudhir. So Sudhir is an HR professional, but his passion for bonsai is for many decades, dating back to his school days. He has, of course, he's won numerous awards at the national levels, and is the first elected secretary of the South Asia Bonsai Federation, and currently the vice president of the Indian Bonsai Society, Mumbai. He's a Bonsai Master and has completed his Bonsai teacher training program, as well as his advanced Bonsai training program from the Tropical Bonsai School by Master Pedro Morales. He's, of course, conducted multiple demonstrations at national and international levels. And today he's going to teach all of us, or help all of us, get into the art of bonsai. So he's going to teach us from absolute basics, from selecting the plant at the nursery, as well as using basic gardening tools for bonsai. And he's going to show us a demonstration on the designing and grooming a bonsai. So it's a fun interactive sessions like all of our sessions are. Use the chat box if you'll have questions. Use it, keep it clean so that only the relevant chats come, and knowledge is really transfer. That's what we're about, is knowledge transfer. So keep the chat box clean and ask your questions so that we can get to each one of them. And of course, use the raise hand button if you'd like to ask Sudhir any question and you'd like to interact and ask your queries. So we're going to learn about bonsais. Bonsais, as you all know, is the art of miniaturizing nature in a small container. So bringing the beauty of nature in a confined space. So I'm very excited for today's session and excited to have Sudhir. So let's begin. Over to you, Sudhir.
Good evening, Karan.
Hey Sudhir.
Thank you for the introduction. Good evening, all our viewers. I wish everyone a very happy Dussehra. And on this auspicious day, for all those who joined the bonsai class for the first time, it's going to be a new beginning. So you're going to learn a new art. I'm not here to teach, but I'm here to showcase my knowledge or share my knowledge with all of you today. As you all know, we had the first session in the month of July. So I would like to take you through the session highlight first and quickly recap as to what we discussed in the last meeting. So Karan, yeah. So we're going to learn bonsai designing today. We are also going to decide upon a style as to how can you design a bonsai based on the natural tendency of that particular shrub or that particular material. We are going to discuss the common species which are very easily available in any ordinary nursery anywhere. And I'm going to demonstrate on a nursery stock, bougainvillea. I'm going to turn a nursery plant into a bonsai today for all of you. And at the end, we will discuss the general bonsai care so that you know how to take care of a bonsai if you have bought it ready-made or you have made it yourself. So to quickly recap as to what is bonsai all about, as you all know, bonsai is growing miniature tree in a tray or a pot. It's like growing the replica of a big tree in a small tray, in a very, very small tray of this size too, or even a smaller pot, which can rest on your thumb. The art of bonsai originated in China and then it further developed in Japan. Karan, can you? Yeah. We also discussed various bonsai styles in the last session that we had. We talked about the single trunk style, which is where the trunk of the tree goes straight up, informal upright, where the trunk has a bit of a twist uh, the way it moves. Then we talked about the cascade or pot, and cascade is something which goes down below the base of the tree. Then
Sorry,
we
Sudhir, your
also
audio.
learned
Yeah.
about the multiple trunks.
Sudhir, your audio is
Yeah, can you hear
breaking.
me?
No, actually, your audio for the last 20 seconds.
And the root connected style, where the trunk of a tree is.
Sudhir, Sudhir, your audio is breaking. If you don't mind, just recapping what the single
Okay, so I'll go back
and
to what I
yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah. Your audio is breaking. If you want to check.
Hello, can you hear me?
No, Sudhir. I think we're facing your audio and video both are breaking a bit.
Karan, can you hear me?
Right now we can, but your audio and video both are breaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we also discussed the trunks, various trunks, multiple trunk. In that we have twin trunk, triple trunk, multiple trunk, more than three trunk. Tree is connected to the roots. Can we move to the next slide?
Sorry, everyone. I think there's a slight connection issue at Sudhir's end. Just give us a minute if you don't mind. I'll just try to just Sudhir. Sudhir, your video is going off. If you want to use your mobile phone, I'll
Yes, Karan.
use your audio and your mobile phone if you have that set up. I'm not sure, but your video is
Yeah.
sorry everyone. This happens, to the best.
Okay.
So we you can do as many trials, but on the final day you got to act on your feet. So just a second. Sudhir will join from his mobile phone as well, and just fix his uh, his audio setup maybe. But yeah, so what we're doing is we're recapping a little bit about the styles, different styles of bonsai that we discussed last time. But you don't have to worry about all of this. All of this is going to be discussed today. If you haven't attended the last session, it's fine. This is a complete beginner session, so don't worry about that at all. Yeah, Sudhir.
Yeah. I think it's to do with the network. I'm facing some network issue.
All right,
There's no
all right,
audio problem here.
all right, all right. Okay.
Yeah. Just a moment. Give me a second. I'll connect through my phone.
Sure. Okay, give us a second while we just debug this.
Just a moment.
Okay. So, like Sudhir was saying, we these are the different kinds of bonsai styles. You all can go through it. They're beautiful plants. I'm sure you all don't need, you all can look at these plants for as long as you want. So as you can see, the formal upright, informal upright, slanting, semi cascade. So just go through these images while we're just fixing this issue. Bear with us. Um, we should be at this very soon. Okay, I think we're back. Again, apologies for the hiccup. We're just trying to get his internet back in order, so he just must be restarting. Um, so those of you who've come late, we haven't we're just recapping over the last session. Again, you don't have to worry about what we did in the last session. We are going to cover the bonsai design today, but all you need to know is a bonsai is a miniaturized plant in nature. As you can see behind me, these are bonsais, and as you can see, this is like a beautiful representation of a tree in nature, and that's what they do in small containers as small as these 6 inches or even lesser. We try to represent the beauty of nature in a small confined space. So that's what we're going to try to do today. Just got to see. Just give us a minute. We'll be back. Just a second, guys. Okay, so I spoke to Sudhir. He's just getting his other network sorted. So we should be back shortly. We are very sorry about this. I know time is precious, and we usually don't have these issues. But what can you do, right? So just bear with us for just a few more minutes, and we'll make sure that we answer all your questions and have everything sorted for you guys. So just give us a few more minutes. Thank you. Okay. He's still going to take a few minutes. Let's try something different. Okay. Let's see what the community has in store. Anyone over here has been training in the art of bonsai, or is someone who can speak on the art of bonsai? You can raise your hand or use the chat box. Let's just get some interaction going. Let's see what the community can offer and how we can interact while Sudhir, gets his internet sorted. Anyone who has a bonsai plant would like to share their bonsai plant, just use the chat box or use the raise hand button, and we'd love to see your plants. Soumya GR, yes, is it possible to make a bonsai by hibiscus or rose plant? Honestly, you can make a bonsai out of any plant, but there are some plants which are preferred for bonsais because they're more suitable. So yes, technically you can, but certain plants are better for the others. Lena, yes, the plants behind me, all 5 of them are bonsais. They were sweetly gifted to me, honestly, by Sneha Prasad. She's the president of the South Asia Bonsai Federation, and wonderful person. And she has this working with this NGO called NSHEO, that is they for equal opportunities for the handicapped. And this is, she educates these handicapped on the art of bonsai, so they get a skill. And she was kind enough to sort of to give these to me. Yes, all of these are bonsais. They all are ficus, if you can see. You can see there are these wires over here, and this beautiful of these roots. It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? So yeah, thank you to Sneha ma'am for that. Okay, let's see. Right. Yeah, they are ficus, Sumit Agarwal. They're ficus. How do you reduce the size of leaves? Yes, we're going to get to that. Sudhir will answer all your questions. Yes, Prachi, you can share your adenium in a flat pot. Right, let's see. You can switch on your video, Prachi Tatake. Yeah. Okay, plants suitable for bonsais. I'll take you through it. Let's take you all through those. Okay. Would you like to speak about your bonsai, Prachi? You can unmute yourself. Sorry, guys, we are just trying to make do while Sudhir gets his internet sorted. So that's the power of the community, that we have experts, we have people learning, and we learn from others. And that's what we're all about. So Prachi, if you don't mind sharing something about your bonsai or your plant.
The adenium bonsai, because I call it a bonsai because I put it in a 3-inch flat pot. and it
Okay.
has branched very well. But in this rainy season, it doesn't have many flowers, but it is blooming at some places. So it will start blooming soon, I guess.
All right. All right. Thanks,
And
Prachi.
adenium plants is what I'm really, because they really look like a bonsai faster. So that this is what I like to concentrate on. But I want to learn the art of bonsai for other plants too.
Absolutely. Yes. Adeniums, they have beautiful flowers, don't they?
Yes, absolutely. I have in
They're,
two colors,
yeah,
white and pink.
absolutely. They have beautiful flowers. I think Sudhir's back. Hey, Sudhir.
Hi, Karan. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can. All right.
Okay. Extremely sorry. Both my networks, I mean, I had the alternate Wi Fi also, but that also didn't work for some time. Anyway, extremely sorry, viewers, for the interruption.
Okay. Let's quickly recap these bonsai styles and let's get started. Today's meaty session. I'm really excited to see the demonstrations.
Yeah. So we talked about the single trunk and multiple trunk. Then we move to the next slide, Karan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we have multiple tree in a group style where we create a forest or we plant more than one plant in a tray and make it look like a forest or a landscape. Okay. Yeah. We move to the next slide. So today we're going to talk about bonsai design. Design is nothing but how it's a visual process where you have to show what you have designed, how you have designed your plant, and it should be visible to the viewers or the people who are viewing the bonsai. For a bonsai artist, the tree is basically the depiction of his impression about nature in a very confined kind of environment. In a small pot, he tries to create nature, he tries to create a tree as to whatever he has seen around him in the environment. So it's his impression about the nature that he tries to depict in the design. While we create bonsai design, we need to keep certain points in our mind. I mean, uh, these are very essential points that we must keep in mind when we are designing our plant. Line. I mean, line is continuous direction towards a particular point that indicates direction, character, and movement and determines shape. So, for example, I have this tree with me, which I'm going to show you. So you all can see the direction the tree is moving in this particular direction. Okay. Yeah. So you can see the flow of the tree. It is moving in particular direction. So while creating a design, we keep in mind the flow based on the tendency of that particular tree, the kind of species we have in hand, and how it grows in nature. That is very, very important. You must keep it in mind that a banyan tree cannot be turned into a cascade. It has to be multiple trunk or a big canopy kind of a tree. Okay, yeah. Karen, we go to the next point. And the line basically gives a direction to the bonsai. Then the shape is very, very important. The shape is something that we see when we look at the tree. We see the shape of the tree first. Some trees are slanted, they move in a particular direction. Some are canopy, some are cascading, flowing down towards the ground. So the shape is very, very essential when we look at the tree, and that is what we catch first. In bonsai, shape is the way we arrange our branches in order to achieve the desired salute. I mean, salute is the canopy, the way the foliage is arranged on a particular tree. And the style differs from species to species. Each species is treated differently, and the style differs from the way the tree grows in nature. Yeah. Color. The color of the bonsai is nothing but the color of its leaves, its flowers, the color of its fruits. Okay, so it's basically the physiology of this species. Also, each tree looks different in nature. Some tree have a very lush green kind of foliage. For example, tamarind, it has a very lush green foliage, very small leaves, uh, rough bark, so it looks very old. Even if it's a young tree, it looks very old. uh, the texture that I was talking about. I mean, the bark of the tree gives a texture to the tree. Then we come to the balance. Balance is the relation between all parts of the tree: the trunk of the tree, the foliage. Nebari is the way the root is arranged at the base of the tree. So the roots which come out at the base of the trunk is called nebari. It's a Japanese word. And in bonsai, we basically try to create asymmetric balance. We do not create symmetrical design. I mean, like a branch coming out to the left and right is avoided. I mean, that's very symmetrical. So we try to create asymmetrical, which is like if a first branch is coming from the first point, and the second branch should come out on a little higher, not in the opposite direction. So that is what we mean by asymmetry. The scale and the proportion is the relation of the design with the characteristic of the tree, harmony between the size of the leaves, flowers, and fruits. If you are trying to create a bonsai of a mango tree has it usually has big leaves. So try to create a bigger bonsai. I mean, maybe 3 feet tall or 4 feet tall, because the leaves of the mango trees are larger. The fruit is also larger. Banyan tree, you should create a big bonsai, not a small bonsai like this, because the leaf of the banyan trees are very, very huge. So that also has to be kept in mind. So in bonsai, we basically prefer trees with smaller leaves, because then you cannot have too much of foliage on a tree and it looks more natural. There are certain things which are very important when we create design. So the good nebari, the good distribution of fruit at the base of the trunk, accounts for 30% importance in a bonsai. The trunk has 20% importance in a bonsai. The branch position has again 20% importance. Ramification is the way the foliage breaks out, the way the branching of tertiary or secondary branches is done, and the way densely the branches are formed. Salute is the overall leaf structure, the foliage of the tree, and how is the overall shape of a bonsai. So, as I mentioned, there are various aspects which have to be kept in mind while designing. For a starter, I mean, if you are just beginning with the art of bonsai, what is that you need to have? You need to have a pruning scissor. If not like this, you get those gardening scissors in any nursery. So you can start with that. Then you have these pliers, which are again used for wiring the plant. So you need to have a good plier. This is a bonsai plier, which is a professional one, but even if you have an ordinary plier, you can buy it from the hardware shop. That is good enough for you to begin with. Then you need a training pot like this, plastic pot, any ordinary plastic pot, where you can actually plant the material through a cutting or a seed, or you can do grafting or whatever, and start growing your own material as such. Then you also need some mesh, the mosquito net that we all use, the plastic one for our windows. That is again used for used at the base while we pot the plant. So that is what we require. And a bonsai pot, a small pot, a big pot. So these are available in shops where bonsai materials are usually kept, but nowadays many nurseries keep these kind of pots, small pots at least, to begin with. So this is what you need, and of course the bonsai soil. Then there are different wires, anodized wires that we get in the market. So these are basically used for wiring the branches so that you can give shape to the tree. It is not to harm the tree as such, but it is used for giving the direction. We were talking about direction in the previous slide. So it is basically used for giving direction to the tree. and after several days you have to remove the wires. They do not reside on the tree permanently. You need to remove it. Once you see that the wire is being eaten up by the branches slowly growing, at that point in time you need to remove it. Uh, you get bonsai material in specific nurseries. Bonsai material is not found commonly everywhere, but yes, in normal gardening nurseries, if you visit them, you will find some of the species which are very usually available. In ficus, there are various varieties of ficus which are very easily available in an ordinary nursery. So you get ficus Long Island, ficus Green Island, banyan tree, which is very commonly available in nature as such, the people tree, then various varieties of people, the Bodhi, the Infectoria, then there are other varieties of ficus, the Benjamina, which is again very commonly available in nurseries, Nuda, Panda, Retusa, and ficus lipstick, which has pink color leaves when it actually starts forming at the early stage. Then we get bougainvilleas very commonly in nurseries. There are different varieties of bougainvilleas which are kept in nurseries. Like you get pixie, which is very dense in foliage, and the flowers are also very dense. They form like a bunch. Then we get Kamini, which has scented flowers. It is called Muraya paniculata, which is available in most nurseries. Then boxwood, which has very rough bark. Jade, which is very commonly available. Various flowering varieties are available like Cerisa. Then Rhytia. I'll show you the Rhytia that I have. Oh, this is a Rhytia which has white color flowers. It gives scented flowers, white color, and these are available in certain nurseries. You may not find it everywhere, but they are available in most nurseries. So this is a very ideal plant for making bonsai. Abroad also you'll see a lot of bonsais made out of Rhytia. They develop very fast. They're water-loving plants, and they give you tremendous result. I mean, this was prepared by me in demonstration just 4 months back, and like see how it is looking now. So it still has to develop more foliage, but the structure is there now. Okay. Then we get acacias, they're commonly called as bubbles also. Then the tamarind plants are available, pomegranates are available. Somebody was showing adenium, which is very commonly available in nurseries. Adeniums are very, they develop as bonsai very fast. Their physiology is such that, they, even if it's small and a very young plant, it looks like a bonsai because it has a very swollen kind of a body and a base, and it flowers. Different colors of flowers are there, and it's a very beautiful plant to start with. Then cherries available. Wax malphigia is very commonly available in any nursery. Wax malphigia is very widely used for making hedges in the garden, or also if you are driving, you'll find sometimes on the dividers wax malphigias are planted. So it's a very common plant. Then ixoras, they come in white, pink, red color flowers. Very lovely tree and very suitable for making a bonsai. Then the common lemon trees which are available, they do not develop into bonsai very fast, but yes, I mean, it's a good species to work with. Yeah, Karen, we go to the next slide. What is that you need to keep it in mind? I mean, when you are buying a material from a bonsai, if the tree is healthy, it has good lush green foliage by it. It should be well established. You should feel that the tree has been in that pot for a longer time. There are many times like you tend to buy a plant which has been just planted. It might have been developed through a cutting, and when you actually make a bonsai and try to repot, you'll find that there are no roots to the plant. So you must make sure that the tree is well established. It should have good nebari, it should have good root structure spread across all around the trunk. Then the trunk should be tapering. I mean, on this plant you can see the base is much wider, and as it goes up it tapers, and towards the tip it is absolutely very pointed. Okay, so make sure that when you buy material, it is it has good taper. The trunk has good taper. Every tree should have good apex also. I mean, the topmost portion, and apex is also very important in the design of the bonsai. So you make sure that the tree has good structure. The tree should also have primary, secondary, and tertiary branches. I mean, not only the trunk, not only the main branch, but the main branch should have sub branches, and those sub branches should have tertiary or a fourth level generation branches. So make sure that the trees have good branch structure. The quality of flowers, the quality of fruit should be good. I mean, certain times when you buy a plant from a nursery, you'll find that the flowers aren't fully formed. The fruits have certain damages on it, or it is not fully formed, some pest on it. So you should not buy those plants from nursery. Yeah, can we move to the next slide? Yeah. What do you do on a daily basis to take care of your bonsai? I mean, minimum what you need to do is to water your bonsai. I mean, at least once, if you get good sunlight in your gallery or in your garden. So at least once in a day, if it's too bright outside, you must water. In summer, you need to water it twice. You should give good organic and inorganic fertilizer. Make sure that you balance it well. Only organic may not give you the desired result. It is very important for the overall development of the plant as such. It is also very important for good fruiting or good flowering. So good NPK would be very good. Placement of the tree, where you want to keep your bonsai. So many people think that bonsais are indoor plants, but they are not. They need sunlight, they need fresh air. So you have to keep them in your veranda or in your balconies or in your garden. Minimum 2 hours of sunlight is must. For certain plants, even a full day brightness is good enough. It's going to be good. It will develop faster. But minimum 2 hours of sunlight, 4 hours of sunlight is required, either in the morning or in the evening. A good bonsai soil, which is basically a mixture of garden soil with cow dung, with compost, with leaf mold, various other elements you can add. You can add sand to it, and there are many other things which you can basically use based on the species that you have to make a bonsai. So make sure that the soil is absolutely light, it is porous. As soon as you water the plant, the water should flow out from the base of the pot. The water should not be retained in the pot. So you make sure that the soil is free flowing and it doesn't contain any water in it. Okay, so your soil should be absolutely very porous and should drain out easily. Yeah, so today for the purpose of demonstration, I have bougainvillea with me, which I basically picked from my farm. It is very similar to what you can find in a nursery. So I had allowed it to grow for some time, and now it is kind of ready to be turned into a bonsai. So I'm going to work on this bougainvillea today. So this is the bougainvillea. Can all of you see it? So whenever you go to a nursery, you will not find this kind of material at the front. So what you should do is you should try and hunt the backyard of a nursery, where you'll find this kind of neglected kind of material, which is very suitable, which is very ideal for making bonsai. So if you see this bougainvillea, it has a very nice base. It has a very nice trunk. Okay, and you will find that the tree is flowing to my left hand side. You will find all the branches are moving in a particular direction. Now, bougainvilleas are flowering plants, so uh, what you should always keep in mind when designing a flowering or a fruiting plant is you keep as many branches as possible so that you get more and more fruits or more and more flowers on the tree. Okay, if you just keep one branch, you will not get too many flowers on it, right? But if you have multiple branches, you will get too many flowers or too many fruits. So try to keep more branches when you're designing fruiting or a flowering plant. Now this is an absolute raw material, not touched before. It was too tall actually. I just cut it from the top so that I could actually place it in the frame today. So I'm going to put it here and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on it. So if you all observe, it is moving in one particular direction. This particular branch is going down. Okay, so what can you do on this? So I'm going to design a cascade. Cascade is a style where the branches are moving down, and these particular material needs some cleaning. So we're going to take out branches which are not required for our design today. Okay, we do not need so many branches. So the line has to be very, very clear. The flow has to be very, very clear and should be visible to the viewers. That is what we read in the previous slide. So I'm going to take out certain branches which are not required. There are certain hard branches on this particular material which I'm going to take out because you cannot turn them or you cannot wire them and twist them or give shape. So I'm going to take out some matured branches and I'm going to use the very tender kind of branches for my design today. Okay. Karan, if they have a question, I can answer them now.
Sure. Okay, I'm going to ask a few questions. Give me a minute. All right, so let's get right to it. Okay, from Bhavna Bhardwaj, are bonsai trees difficult to look after?
You need to be passionate about it. More take you care, more better they will look or appear. As I said, in a day at least you need to wire them once in 10 to 15 days. You need to fertilize them, keep them in the sun, and do basic pruning as and when required. Doesn't need to be pruned on a daily basis. Maybe once. I don't prune my plants on a daily basis. I prune once in 4 months, 5 months, depending on the species, because certain species are fast growing and certain species grow very slow. So the slow growing species don't need to be touched on a daily basis. But yeah, there are certain species like bougainvillea which you may have to prune maybe once in 3 months or 4 months or 5 months or even 6 months. So I wouldn't say it is very difficult to look after, but you should be passionate about bonsai, and the more love and care you give it, it will flourish.
As with everything. Right.
Yes, they are like your kids. More love you give them, more better they will perform. So that is what you need to play on.
Absolutely. That's the general thumb rule. Okay. Okay. So many people have questions on the type of plants you can use to make into bonsai. Ranjana, Deepak Tiwari, Rekha Gada, Jenny Smita, all have similar questions. Mohini Kumar is that, can you make a passion fruit plant, bonsai out of a rose, a baby lime plant, a neem tree? Can you make all of these into a bonsai?
Neem tree, because it has compound kind of a leaf, huge leaf structure. So we should avoid Miniature roses, there are certain varieties which you can absolutely use for making bonsai. There are a lot of rose tree bonsais I have seen in exhibitions, and they do really very well.
Okay. A lot of questions regarding the.
Trees which are plants which are seasonal, like your papaya, banana, and all, they cannot be used for making bonsai because they are seasonal. They don't have trunk line. You cannot make a bonsai out of it.
Okay, someone has a question. I know you answered it, but he's like, why are you cutting these healthy stems, these healthy branches?
So that more and more tender branches will come out. And what we are going to do, if I leave it like this, it is not a bonsai. For you and me to call it a bonsai, it should look like a tree. So I'm going to design it, and there are certain branches where I don't need. There are a lot of myths about bonsai, that you do a lot of cruelty to the plant, you prune it. I'm telling you, if I'm pruning this plant, I have so many cuttings today with me. These are going to go back to my farm, and I'm going to plant it again. So out of this one small plant, I'm going to have more than 20-30 plants. So we multiply. All of us preserve the branches when we work on a plant, and we go back and pluck it in the soil or the plastic training pot like this, and they immediately sprout. So out of this one species, we are not going to throw anything. I'm preserving all these branches, and all of them will grow again. Okay.
Absolutely. I love pruning as well.
So the healthy branches are going to turn into more and more bonsais, as you all can see.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of plants, right? When I'm pruning, or when I'm gardening and I make a mistake, some branch breaks, I immediately put it in for propagation, and you see that grow. It's beautiful. Okay, so let's see some other questions. Lot of questions on the soil, Sudhir, by Lena.
Yeah.
She has a question. What is bonsai soil, and is it different from the normal soil?
Yeah, in normal soil, what you have is it just has the red soil and some amount of cow dung. So we also need it. But in bonsai soil, as I said, we put a lot of leaf mold, compost, sand. Then we use bone meal. We use many other elements, so that there is more nourishment to the tree. We add all this so that the tree gets more and more nourishment, and it is, like as I said, like it's lighter and free flowing. If you water the plant, sand basically gives that free flowing element to the soil. So we use all these elements so that the soil is very, very healthy.
Right. So Snehal Chandrekar and Kathy Sikri had the same questions on the composition of soil, which you answered. Arpita Kakotkar had a question. How can we know that the roots are healthy while buying it from outside?
What you can do is you can just get to the base of the tree or the plant, okay, and take a stick and try to dig out some soil and see if it has certain roots coming out from the trunk. Okay, if there are roots coming out and certain roots are visible, I mean, you can see this root particularly over here. There are going to be more roots if I dig out on this tree, because it's been in the soil for a long time.
Okay. People had questions. Can you grow from a seed if you don't have a plant?
Yes, you can. You can grow plants from seed also.
Okay. R. Joshi had a question. R. Joshi had a question. Since bonsai is grown in small pots, the soil quantity is less. What will happen if I'm out of station for 7 days? How can I keep it alive? I think I face a similar issue, Sudhir. When you're traveling, I mean, right now we're not traveling, but in general, if you're away for 7 days, 15 days, how do you care for your bonsai?
Yeah, they need water, so you can't lock them in your garden and go. I mean, you need to have somebody to water. Many of us, what we do is we leave our plants. If you have just, few plants, you can just leave it at your friend's place. There are certain other methods which we use. You can place them in a tray with water so that the water stays there for 7-8 days, but not more than that, because otherwise the roots will start rotting. Okay, so for 6-7 days you can leave them in a tray with water. They will survive. Or yeah,
Okay.
they need
Some
water,
questions.
so
Right.
yeah.
So water again only when the soil is dry and depending on the plant that you're working with, correct?
Yeah, we have a habit of watering the plants every day, morning and evening. The plant doesn't need so much of water. What you should do is you should touch the surface of your pot and see if the soil is wet. If it is wet, you don't need to water it. If it is dry, water it. Yeah, I mean, once, as I said, like once in a day. If you have too much of sun, that should be good enough. If you have a terrace and your plants are getting full day of sun, then probably twice in a day. In summer, in winter, just if it is not in the garden, once in 2 days is also fine. But
Okay.
small, if you have very small bonsais, then at least once in a day is a must.
Okay. Fine. Let's see. A lot of questions on the fertilizers. Which fertilizer to use? Any good fertilizer?
Use cow dung, which is an organic one. Use NPK. They come in different measures, so you get ready-made NPKs in the nursery shop. So you go and tell them, that is good enough. If you only use NPK, that should also be fine. Then there are those various plant tonics which are available in the market, which you can use for your bonsais.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sneha Kale has asked me at least 10 times, can we make a bonsai out of lime? Sudhir, you need to answer her.
Like those, yeah, I mean those, those Chinese lemons which you get, you can make a bonsai out of that.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So I'm wiring the plant now, Karan, and I just wanted to explain how to wire the plant. Okay, so you have to wire in a spiral manner with 45-degree angle. Okay, not straight, otherwise the tree will suffocate. But you need to put it in a 45-degree angle. Okay, the wires come in different gauges, so based on the strength of the branch, you need to use the wire accordingly. Okay.
Okay.
Not too tight, but not too loose also. If you wire your plants very loose, then at the time of giving shape to the plant, the branch can snap. I mean, you can break the branch. So make sure that you firmly wire the branches.
Okay. Someone's asking, what is the strength of the wire that's being used right now?
See,
This is my
these come
Prachi.
in.
Yeah.
This comes in different gauges. I think I'm using, and they are measured through various mm. So like you get from 1.6 to 2.5, 3, 4, and 5. So I think I'm using number 3.
Okay. Is there any particular season or time? A lot of people have the question when to wire, when to prune, when to for any. Is there a season or it's an ongoing process?
Yeah, before summer, spring is the best time to work on bonsais. I mean, you can design a lot of bonsais before spring or during spring. Before summer, you can wire. We do not usually wire in monsoons and not in autumn, because that's the time when the trees are actually not growing. That's not the growing period. The winter is not the growing period, period for the plant. So we avoid wiring during those times. Spring, summer. During summer you can wire.
Sneha Chandrekar has a question. Wiring should be done in the direction in which the branches are growing.
Yes. Yeah. From the base to the end, not from the tip to the base. Should always start from the base.
Great. Any particular climate suitable for most bonsai plants?
Climate, we are very fortunate that we have all three seasons. We have summer, winter, monsoon. So all the seasons are equally important. But yes, summer is very, very important for bonsai because that's the time when they grow a lot. In monsoon also, they grow, but they grow very wild in monsoon. So we do not prefer that kind of a growth where the plants have huge internode distances. Like they grow very rapidly, and that kind of growth we do not prefer. So the growth in summer is absolutely good for us.
Right. By the way, your plant is coming really well together from what it was.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Gopinath had a question. Can we wire two branches together with the same wire?
Yeah, you can. I will show it.
Okay. Preeti had a question. She has an adenium bonsai. It has four branches. It is blooming now. How to get more branches?
You need to prune at the end of your branches. Certain times maybe I need to see the plant so that I can answer, but you need to prune it so that it multiplies faster. I mean the branching is faster. Now you don't cut it, but you can do it after winter, and maybe during January, end of January or beginning of February. February before spring starts, you can give it a nice cut, and it will do well in spring and summer.
Sushreya again has asked me multiple times, can we make a bonsai out of tulsi?
Tulsi you can make, but as such it doesn't survive for a longer time. It has very brittle branches, so wiring is very difficult. And I have seen a tulsi bonsai, but it's not very common. It's not very common because it's a short term plant. It doesn't live for long.
Right. And speaking of living for long, Nevan Pereira has a very relevant question. For how many years does a bonsai live? The answer is amazing. So how many years can a bonsai live?
Yeah. We have a plant. I think we have a tree in Japan. It can live for hundreds of years. The oldest tree is 1,000-year-old. So
wow, that's
you can make it survive if you take care.
Yeah, that's a lot of love has gone for generations and generations.
A lot of good care. I mean, you need to repot them because the trees are planted in shallow trays. The soil needs to be replaced after 2 years, 3 years, again depending on the kind of species you have it. So a lot of work goes on a daily basis. You need to at least water them. So just imagine watering a particular plant for 1,000 years. So it's a big task. Yeah, a lot of passion is required. As I said, you need to love what you're doing. So
absolutely, and that's why it's in Japan,
yes,
right? Where they live they live their lives with that ikigai, with their purpose, and through the generations, that plant has been taken care of enough. So amazing.
Yes. In India also we have certain artists who have plants which are like 50-year-old, 60-year-old plants are there in India also. Perhaps more than that. There are people who have preserved and passed it on to their children, and the children are taking care. So it's very common in India also. Very soon we have plants which are 100-year-old and all that.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm hoping to get started on my journey. A lot of people are getting inspired to get started on their journey on bonsai. We'll let you all know how to stay in touch. Okay, Jennifer George, you want to unmute yourself and ask a question?
Yes.
Go ahead,
Uh,
Jennifer.
so I have a adenium plant, and as it grows big, like taller, the leaves are coming out. So what to do in that case? Like it's shooting up very in height, it's building up, but it's as it fills up, the leaves are coming out.
Yeah, that's good. You need good foliage, right? I mean, your plant should not be skimpy. You need to have good foliage. So let the leaves come out, and try to multiply the branches. I mean, have more branches, not one or two branches. More the branches, better the tree will look.
So do
So
I?
if they grow long,
Hmm.
if the branch is growing long, try to cut it at the tip. Try to make it more compact. Try to bring it very closer to your trunk, the
Yeah,
trunk
okay.
of the plant.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else has questions? Surbi, you'd like to ask a question?
Yes.
Go ahead, Surbi.
What precaution should we take for the insects?
Pest, yeah, you find a lot of pest on bonsai. There are certain things like you find caterpillars or mealybugs or other pests which can be eliminated by wearing gloves. Do not touch them. You can just spray soap water, very diluted soap water, uh, with say like every 7 to 10 days or something like that. They will go off. If the insect is too stubborn, and you need to actually use some chemical insecticide. So there are a lot of chemical insecticides available based on the pest. I mean, whatever pest you have. So there are a lot of pesticides available, which are very easy to handle actually. So keeping them in very dry place, bright place, in sun. That is what will help you keep away from pests. If you keep them in a damp place where there's a lot of water retention on the ground, and those places, probably the plant will have some amount of pests. There'll be caterpillars, there'll be other insects which will be living on that stored water. So avoid keeping plants in wet places. Try and keep them in dry places.
Sumit Arya, would you like to ask a question?
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
Sumit, go
good
ahead.
evening.
Yeah, good evening. I am having this lychee plant, but
Lychee
I'm
plant.
not getting a thicker trunk.
I have not tried a lychee bonsai, and you you put it in a bigger pot, or put it in the ground for some time if you have a garden or something. But try and put it in a bigger pot with lot of soil. I think it will thicken up faster.
But
It will.
if I put in ground, and can I transfer later on?
Yeah, you can remove it, especially you can dig it out in monsoon and put it in a pot. But uh, rather than putting it in the ground, try to put it in a bigger pot.
Bigger pot. Okay. And I can
Yeah.
put something in soil so that it can be thicker trunk or something.
As I said, use good, healthy soil, and use a lot of.
Right now, I am putting only this cow dung.
No, put some sand, put leaf mold, put bone meal, some charcoal. Sand is very important because that gives porosity to the soil.
Okay, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Suyesh Pandey has a question. Is it suitable to use plant hormones like synthetic auxins and gibberellin for the proper growth and fast result?
I don't think it is required. I believe in using very limited kind of fertilizers. You just use one. I balance organic with inorganic. That should be good enough. I have not used these kind of fertilizers. Uh, it may foster growth in the plant, but we are not looking at that sudden growth in the plant. We don't have to make the plant just grow faster. Otherwise it will develop longer internodes, and that is not good for our design as such.
Someone. Okay. Can you help me with aerial roots? How to grow aerial roots on a banyan bonsai? This is by Gauri Valokar.
Okay. What you can do is you can tie wherever you want the aerial roots to form. It will be basically under the branch. So you get this sphagnum moss in nurseries. So buy that and place the sphagnum moss where you want the aerial roots to come out. Place it and tie it with some wire or a rope that you get, and leave it for some months in monsoon, and the aerial roots will start growing from that point. Once you have good enough aerial roots, you can take out the sphagnum moss and enjoy the aerial roots. In monsoon as such, you'll find a lot of aerial roots coming out of these ficus species. So that's a good time to have aerial roots actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have Mel D. Would you like to ask a question?
Hi, thanks. So I have a quick question, Sudhir. I wanted to check on what should one keep in mind when you're pruning leaves. Is there a special time, and is there some things that we need to keep in mind to decide which leaves to keep and which ones we should prune?
Yeah. Which leaves to keep and what to eliminate depends on your design as such. Okay. You should not touch the plant or prune the plant when it is not healthy. Okay. This is the transition period where we are moving out from monsoon, and it has started getting warmer. So you'll find that plants at this point in time with fall. I mean, you'll find the leaves are yellowing and they are falling off. So this is not a good time to actually touch the plant. Leaves, which one to keep and which one to prune. We don't cut the leaves as such. We cut the leaves only when we have to defoliate the plant. There's something called defoliation, which we do maybe 2 or 3 times in a year to let the plant grow from those points. And if you de-leaf, the tree grows very fast. I mean, gives out good branching and ramification. So as I said, it absolutely depends on your design. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Soumya GR, you have a question?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Karan, before we move, I'm on the last branch, and somebody asked whether we can use wire 2 branches from a single wire. So I'm just going to show.
Sure.
There is a single wire. There are these 2 branches which I'm going to wire with this. So how I'm going to place it? So I'm going to place it here, and I'm going to take the wire out from this particular point I have to anchor the wire before I start wiring this other branch. So a single wire can be used for wiring two branches which are closer, so that when you actually try and turn the branches for designing purpose, it's it's quite firm. Both the branches will take the shape, and it will be easy for you to turn the branch. Yeah, you can move to the question.
Okay. Yes, Soumya, go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Sir, is there any books related to bonsai culture for beginners?
A lot of books are available. If you check on Amazon, there are a lot of Indian authors, a lot of foreign authors, which you can actually go through. I mean, you should look for basics. I mean, you should, if you're a beginner, you should look for a basic book on bonsai, and as you learn the art, you can go for more advanced books. I can suggest the author to Karan offline, and you can take it from him.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So Karan, I have done the wiring. Now I'm just going to turn the branches so that we give the shape. So as I was discussing in the beginning, the flow of this plant is to the right hand side of mine, and we're going to treat this at a later stage, not today, but we can do nice woodwork on this, which is called ginning or shari, and that will give the tree more ancient kind of a look, older look. Okay, so I will just turn the tree to my side and do the twisting, and then I will show it to you. Yeah. So just allow me 2 minutes and.
Sure, Sudhir. It's honestly therapeutic watching you with your plant. So we are more than happy to see you work on your material.
My pleasure. So when you're turning the branches, you need to be very, very gentle. Otherwise, the branch may snap. And you need to apply pressure. You should feel the twist. I prefer to do bending with the hand. There are a lot of you get benders also, steel benders, which you can use for bending the branches. But I don't prefer to use them because I don't get the feel of the branch when I'm bending the plant. Okay, so when you bend, you should be very gentle on the tree and apply pressure little by little. So once you wired and you feel a particular branch is not required, you can cut it. I mean, if you feel it is not required in your design as such, so you can eliminate it at that point in time also. But when you are actually eliminating the branches, you should have clarity in your mind as to what you're going to design. I basically like very deep plants, in the sense they should have a lot of depth, a lot of branches. So that's my style actually. The problem with bougainvilleas are like they are quite stiff and they break easily. So you need to be very careful. And during this time when the monsoon is still there and it rains once in a while, the branches become little brittle. So you need to be very careful. So just imagine the tree has been in the rains for 5 months, and it's been there out in the open environment. So you need to be careful while bending. trying to keep as many branches as possible. So when it flowers, it will have a lot of beauty. And I think everybody likes bougainvillea because they're so commonly available. You can, when you walk through the roads, you'll find them all around you. And they don't need much care. If you expose them to a lot of sun and water, not too much, they flower a lot. So if you want to know the trick how to make bougainvilleas flower, just give them a little bit of stress. Don't water them too much in summer and other time, and they will flower a lot. Give them NPK, that does a good job on flowering plants like bougainvilleas. NPK can be given in the interval of say 10 days. Every 10 days you can give NPK. That is good. Yeah, Karin, more or less, can see.
It is gorgeous, Sudhir. I can't believe that's the same plant you started working with.
Thank you.
I would love for y'all to give your feedback on the chat box right now and just tell Sudhir what a difference that he did with the raw material that was started with less than an hour ago. So it's about 45 minutes, less than 45 minutes. He's converted what we just saw to this beautiful cascading style, isn't it, Sudhir?
Yes.
Beautiful.
And usually cascades are potted in a tall pot. So you get tall ceramic pots. We saw in the presentation. So the cascades are potted in tall pots, and then you can see the flow of the bonsai as such. So to enhance the beauty of a cascade, you need a tall pot. Otherwise, bonsais are always potted in shallow trays or shallow pots. Right. So this is the first stage of styling. It is not over. I mean, as the tree grows and has more branches over the period, you again go back and again wire it, and in few months this will become full. I mean, it will have a lot of foliages. So you again need to go back and remove unwanted growth. And just imagine if it is in a final pot and it is flowering all over. I mean, bougainvilleas, as you know, they start dropping their leaves, and that particular point of flower, sprouts from there. So just imagine if this particular bougainvillea is full of flower. This is pink color flower bougainvillea. How beautiful it will look. And if you give more stress, more sun, a good amount of fertilizer, it will really do very well.
Absolutely. I
So
think it's
yeah,
stunning.
yeah, thank you. So what I try to do is I try to give direction to this plant while designing. You'll find this particular branch coming out and this particular branch coming at the back. So I try to create a good balance. Had I removed all these branches and just kept, this would have looked very simple. So to provide depth, I've kept this apex, I mean the top portion of this particular bonsai and some side branch, so that there is more depth to the design.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Sudhir,
Yes,
this
Karan.
was a beautiful transformation. If you don't mind, can we asked a lot of you to send in your images of your bonsai. If you don't mind, Sudhir, commenting on a few of theirs, so that people can learn through the actual, people actually doing bonsai at home. So it would love to learn from. So these are images by you attendees. If y'all are here, you can raise your hand. Sudhir, if you can just give a quick comment. We have about six. We've selected about six bonsai. So if you can
Yeah,
quickly.
today, yeah, the first from my left, it's quite a matured shrub. I mean, you can uh, start designing it. A lot of elimination is required in the branches, but it's a good plant to begin with. The small plant needs more growth. There is absolutely no foliage. I can count 3 leaves are there. So this needs to be either repotted with very rich, nourishing soil, or you can just put it in a little bigger pot, allow it to grow for some time, and then make a bonsai out of it. You can make a bonsai out of it. Then these are actually imported plants which are sold very commonly under the name of bonsai. These are not bonsais. These are actually grafts, ficus grafts, which are never called as bonsai. So avoid buying these kind of grafts from the market. They do not turn into bonsai as such, because they have a very swollen kind of trunk and a root, which is not suitable for making bonsai. So if you have it, let it grow. It can be an ornamental plant. You can just use it to keep it in your house or something like that, but it's not a bonsai. Yeah, I think the first one is the ficus. I think it is either a bodhi or a peepal. So yeah, I mean, this is a good plant now. I mean, you can turn it into a bonsai by wiring and giving a nice pruning. The second one needs some more time. So you need to put it in a good soil. The soil which I see is reddish, quite clocky. So you need to replace the soil, use more porous soil, use little bit of cow dung, charcoal, and the other elements. Put more nutrients. Let it grow for some time. The trunk is good. The stump is good. It can turn into a nice bonsai. I can see some nice root system forming there. Yeah. The third one actually I can't see because my windows. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is I think again a ficus. So let it grow. I see the soil is very old. It's been in that pot for a long time, and the tree is actually suffocating. So put it in good soil. I think the other problem with this plant is overwatering. You're watering it too much. So don't water too much. Only when it requires, water it. Allow it to grow for some time, and then that can be turned into a good bonsai. It has good trunk line. It has good branch. It has good elements that will make it a good bonsai. But give it a healthy environment. I mean, put it in a nice soil. Keep it in the sun. Don't overwater it. It's in a concrete pot. Concrete pot retains a lot of water in the body, so avoid using that. Use a earthen pot or maybe a plastic pot, or water it properly, do not overwater it, and it can still remain in that particular cement pot. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Thanks for that, Sudhir. I know we couldn't take all the images that you all sent, but we have only limited time, and Sudhir has done an amazing job, I believe, taking us through the basics on the different styles of bonsais, to the designing care, how to buy, and an absolutely stunning demonstration and feedback. So, Sudhir, I just wanted to thank you for this amazing session. Really, honestly, this was a transformational session. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Karan. I'm extremely sorry for the initial hiccup, the problem with the network, and I think we still could finish in the given time. So
No,
that was good.
that's absolutely
And
fine. You know, the
yeah, and thank you for giving me this opportunity and connect with so many people and spread the art of bonsai.
Oh, so the pleasure is all ours. You know, like we've written on the slide here. This is just where you begin. You're beginning your journey into the art of bonsai. We would like you to continue. Use our Instagram handle, Enlightened Sapiens, Facebook, YouTube, and Sudhir is on Facebook. Connect with him, and we would love to see you continue your journey. Right. So we have a Facebook group called the ES Gardening Community. The link will be in the chat box right now, as well as in the feedback email. You can join this community. Sudhir is part of this community, and you can post your bonsai pictures. You can ask your questions related to gardening, flowering, all your questions. And Sudhir, as well as experts from the community, are kind enough to answer your queries. You know, and if you are an expert or if you feel you have the knowledge, give back with that knowledge. That's what we're all about, right? Like how Sudhir has given back his knowledge, transformed his 40, like, multiple decades worth of knowledge into this 1.5 hour session. So I want to thank him again, and be part of our community. Be connected with us. The recording of this, you know, a lot of you all in the start came in and whatever, they had to leave and join. So it will be there for a few hours tonight. It's on YouTube. Our YouTube link is there on the chat box, as well as it's just Enlightened Sapiens. You can get it. It'll be there only for tonight. If you need the recording after that, just reach out to us, and we can help you regarding the same. And we have a lot of upcoming events, you know. So as we mentioned, we have gardening. So we have next session. We have a session on mobile photography next weekend. How to stay fit at home using, you know, just the stuff you have at home. Very unique fitness session. As well as how to read an artwork. You know, many people believe artwork is only for a certain kind of people. So we're teaching different topics in different fields. All of these sessions are free. You can head on to our website, register using, the links on our website. We'd love to have you and see you for our sessions. And like we mentioned, that we are all about giving back knowledge. So if you believe you have knowledge, you can contribute with your knowledge. Do reach out to us. Ask us how you can help us and how you can help the community. We would love to have your inputs on, and if that doesn't work, you can help us with any amount, and that would help us continue giving these sessions. So we'll be sending a link again on the chat box, as well as in the feedback email. Feel free to contribute any amount that you like. It just helps us reach more people with such more amazing sessions that we have. So, Sudhir, I wanted to thank you once again. And for everyone who asked, they want to continue their journey and they want to have more sessions, they're going to have lots more bonsai sessions. Just reach out to us, tell us how you felt. And Sudhir, I believe we have to organize like a deep dive session on getting them actually with the material and starter kits and getting them. So stay tuned for that. Maybe in December or November, December, Jan, we'll have these sessions with Sudhir, and we'll definitely get you, planting your bonsai, getting you started, and if we haven't already today. So thanks everyone once again, and hope to catch you all very soon for all our sessions. And thank you for taking the time out to be here today. So appreciate everything. Thanks, Sudhir, and thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks to all the viewers for joining, and thank you, Karan, for making me part of this journey. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Sorry, for some people they've not answered your questions. Like we mentioned, join our gardening community. You know, Sudhir can answer only so many questions in 1.5 hours. So he will definitely answer your questions. If we are not able to, we apologize. Use the gardening community on Facebook, use Instagram, and ask your questions, share your images. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you all very soon.
Bye.